Hi there, my name is Diane, but you can just call me D.
Nothing to fear.
In today's video, we're gonna be talking about all the spooky reads that have been released throughout this year. So not necessarily the ones that are coming up, but just anything that has been published in 2021. I have some well-known, I think, titles and some lesser known that sound really interesting. Atmospheric is really what I am looking for. Nice creepy atmosphere. Maybe something next to a lake at night or like in a small town during fall. Some spooky reads that have, like a nice Halloween-esque ambience. That's what I'm looking for. So of course I haven't read any of them, so I don't know if they are actually good. It's just so you're aware and so I am aware. Because I've found just so many books that were interesting to me, I've decided to divide this into 3 videos. So I'm gonna have 8 books per videos so far. I don't think I'm gonna add more, but maybe, I don't know. But yeah, let me know if you've got any spooky reads from this year. There is obviously a lot of reads that feel autumnal and a little bit creepy that have been published throughout the years, but I just really wanted to showcase the 2021 releases, because otherwise we would be here forever. So the first one is called Nice Girls by Catherine Dang. And first of all, the cover gives me so much vibes. The neon colors in the title and then the house at the back with the lights on. It just looks really atmospheric. This is out September 14th. It's an adult psychological thriller and I don't believe there is any fantasy element. So this girl Mary grew up in Liberty Lake and she just couldn't wait to get out of it. So she went to an Ivy League school, but unfortunately she ended up being kicked out of Cornell and no one knows why. So I guess she comes back to her town and she works at the local grocery store when she recognizes someone that she knows, and I guess it just jogs some memories back or something that happened in the past. So there's this girl Olivia who used to be Mary's childhood best friend, and she was a rising social media star, but she disappeared, and this might be tied up with another older disappearance of someone who hasn't really made a lot of noise before. Even though Mary hasn't talked to Olivia in years, she is compelled to investigate in her disappearance and also the other person's disappearance. So it sounds really interesting to me. The next one is The Burning Girls by CJ Tudor. So we have an author that's a little bit more well known. I chose this one because the premise to me sounds very unsettling. So there is a chapel that may be haunted and the new rev comes and has to deal with all the superstitions and the mistrust about this chapel. I believe his daughter starts to get some visions of girls burning, and apparently the last vicar that was there killed himself, or did he? So I think it's really linked to something that happened 500 years ago. So it's half historical fiction, half contemporary, definitely a thriller. It sounds very suspenseful. Obviously, I think the setting of a small town with a chapel that might be haunted is very creepy and atmospheric, I would say. And The Burning Girls comes out September 16th. Okay, the next one is The Initial Insult, and this is the first in a series by Mindy McGuinness. This has already come out in February 23rd. It's a young adult mystery thriller. Apparently it's a retelling. There's this girl, Tress Montour. I guess her family was quite well known in the town and was very affluent, but her parents disappeared when they were driving her best friend back home. So now Tress is living with her grandfather and she's working at their white trash zoo. So I'm not really sure what that is. Apparently it's a wild animal attraction. So I don't really like that, but it could be interesting. I don't know. So then the best friend, Felicity, has been getting really popular, I guess. She has a secret, so I'm assuming she knows what happened that night when Tress's parents disappeared. So she has this secret that she just won't reveal. But Tress has a plan to sort of get the words and the truth out of Felicity's mouth. And this may or may not involve a panther on the loose and a cold shoot. So, I don't know, that sounds really creepy. Even for a young adult, I don't know if that would be interesting to you. To me, it sounds very interesting. It sounds a little bit wacky. Definitely, in my opinion, sounds like a good spooky read. The next one is The Girls Are Never Gone by Sarah Glenn Marsh. And the cover is just splendid. This is a lesbian paranormal thriller, I guess. So it does have some ghosts, which, I mean, perfect for the spooky season. What really intrigued me is that they said that it was The Conjuring meets Sadie. So I really enjoyed Sadie, and I believe there is a podcast in this book where Dare, the main character, takes an internship in a haunted house, and I don't think I need to know more. Do you? I will tell you a little bit more. Apparently, Dare is a skeptic when it comes to anything that's supernatural, but she can't really say that out loud because of the fact that she is having this paranormal investigation podcast. So why is the house haunted? Well, it's because there was a death. Ethelyn Bell, a teenager, drowned 30 years ago in the lake of the estate. As the legend goes, her spirit is haunting the house. But her death was a bit suspicious. However, Dare does not believe that this was due to any paranormal activity, but rather a human being. And so she goes there and she investigates, but things might not be what they seem. I guess there's some haunting happening, hopefully. So another spooky read. I like to know going into my books if it's gonna be paranormal, especially in my thrillers. This is coming out September 7th and it has really good reviews so far. It just sounds really interesting to have someone who's skeptical but whose job is literally to believe. Alright, the next book is The Bond Maker by Sarah Beth Durst, and this came out already in March 9th. So I've had my eyes on this for a while. I haven't been able to pick it up yet. I believe this is a young adult fantasy. 25 years ago, there were 5 heroes who defeated the Bond Maker, who was actually a corrupted magician who created an inhuman army using animal bones. Unfortunately, out of those 5 people, only 4 survived, and the person who died was the husband of the group leader. She has since exiled herself and just spent all of her days trying to resurrect her husband. Unfortunately, for each day that he lives, she will live 1 day less. However, for this to happen, she needs to have human bones. So she's been resurrecting her husband a few times, but to resurrect him for good, she needs a lot of human bones, and the only place that she can get whatever she needs is at the site where the war occurred 25 years ago, because it was a complete massacre. So she basically needs help. She wants to reunite the team, but I guess once they get there, maybe the battle is not finished, maybe the dead are not resting in peace. So I think it's very spooky. I think even though it's a fantasy and potentially not really like a thriller, I think that it sounds like the atmosphere will be there. Alright, the next one is The Ivies by Alexa Dunn, and this was published on May 25th. So this is a young adult mystery thriller set in a boarding school. So in this book, The Ivies are a group of girls that want to get into an Ivy League school, and they would do that by any means necessary. And so we follow specifically one of them, and I guess through her perspective we can see how competitive school admissions are, and I'm guessing a murder happens and this could be linked to the Ivies. But I think this sounds like a really fun thriller, a little bit maybe lighthearted. It's at school, so it's always a fun time to have that sort of dark academia ambience. So if you're interested, pick it up and let me know if you like it. Alright, the next one is once again a young adult fantasy. It's called The Infinity Courts, which is the first book in the series by Akemi Don Bowman. And this was published on April 6th. It says that it's Westworld meets Warcross. I think it's a fantasy sci-fi actually. So there's this girl, Nami, who is on her way to a party, but she never gets to the party because she gets murdered. However, she does wake up and in this place called Infinity, where human consciousness goes, and there is this virtual assistant called Ophelia, sounds familiar, that actually has taken over the afterlife and is now acting as the queen, forcing every humans into servitude because that's what she's been forced to do in the real world. And I guess Ophelia's plans really all come to one point, which is to eradicate humans, and Nami has to do something about it. And I believe she pairs up with a band of rebels, so that sounds really fun to me. It's about the afterlife, so I think it's really a great book for the spooky season. So this one is definitely on my TBR, and it should be on yours too. Alright, the next one has had a little bit more buzz, especially recently because it got released June 1st. And this is Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Imide. It says that it's Gossip Girl meets Get Out. I've never seen Get Out, but apparently it is a horror movie, I think. So it sounds really fun. It is a YA thriller. 2 people have finally been selected to be prefects, which is gonna look really good on their college applications and also can lead to them becoming valedictorian. Unfortunately, at the same time, an anonymous bully starts to send text messages revealing deep secrets of those 2 kids, which could potentially threaten their future. So that actually sounds really creepy to me. Apparently it also deals with racism and obviously bullying. It seems like things are being taken really far. So I'm very interested to learn what those secrets are that are so life-altering. So I actually definitely want to pick this one up. It's just the waiting time at the library is really long, so everybody wants to read it. So this is definitely not an underdog here. I think people are well aware of this book, and I've only heard amazing reviews so far. And that's it for this part. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see the rest of them. Let me know if you've read any of those books and if you consider them a good spooky atmospheric read for the end of the year, or let me know of any others. I still have some time to add them to the list. If you're super excited for the fall season, make sure to thumbs up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.